Hello, greetings, and welcome to Dividend Blasters. This is our 51st video. Our topic today is dividend investors. You better take a close look at Bitcoin. People are talking. It is being called by not one, not two, not three, but by many expert investors and folks on Wall Street is the perfect digital asset. And some are saying that it will 100x your investment. So you ignore this at your own peril. That's all I'm saying. I got a lot of good friends and colleagues who are purist around investing in stocks, ETFs, and dividend growth investments. And I've been doing that for more than 30 years. However, if you ignore Bitcoin, you're going to do this at your own peril. It's just my opinion. Disclaimer: what I say is not financial advice. I'm not your advisor. The purpose of this video is for information and education. It reflects my own personal opinions, and they're based on research and experience as an investor for more than 30 years. Please do your own research, consult a financial advisor prior to making financial decisions. And a couple of housekeeping items. First, thank you for joining us today. And I'd kindly ask you to give us a like and subscribe to our channel here at Dividend Blasters. And hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we put out a new video. A few basics on Bitcoin, which is very different than a lot of other investments. It is a decentralized digital currency. There's no central bank, no Federal Reserve. It's owned by the blockchain. It's a potential medium of exchange. It can hold value, and it cannot be inflated away by central banks wanting to print more money. It's very difficult to counterfeit because of the blockchain. It's a ledger system, and it manages this currency. And the beautiful thing about this is that no more than 21 million Bitcoin can ever be issued. It's a finite asset. It's finite. What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin's an innovative payment network, and it's a new kind of money. It uses peer-to-peer technology to operate with no central authority or banks. Managing transactions and issuing of Bitcoins is carried out collectively by the network. It's open source. Its design is public. Nobody owns or controls Bitcoin, and everyone can play a part in this. To understand the blockchain and to understand the value of Bitcoin, we have to talk about halving, not HAVING, but halving, one half, HALVING. Let's talk about this. First of all, let's talk about what a block is. A block on the blockchain, it's a file. It contains 1 megabyte of Bitcoin transaction records on the Bitcoin blockchain. Miners compete to add the next block by solving a complex mathematical problem. They use specialized hardware. They produce random 64 character output known as hash. And they finish the process and lock the blocks so that those blocks can never, ever be altered or changed. When they complete these blocks, these miners, which work together but they compete against each other, they receive a Bitcoin. They can make a lot of money. Miners were originally paid 50 Bitcoin per block when the cryptocurrency was originally established. Early users could be enticed to mine the network in this fashion, even before it was evident how successful it would be. The rate at which new Bitcoin is created decreases by half every 210,000 blocks mined. That's about every 4 years. The last three halvings occurred in 2012, 2016, and 2020. The first Bitcoin halving, or split, occurred in 2012 when the reward for mining Bitcoin was reduced from 50 to 25 Bitcoin. The halving event in 2016 reduced incentives to 12.5 Bitcoin for each block mined. As of May 11th, 2020, each new block mined only generated 6.25 new Bitcoin. Now, the next Bitcoin halving event is going to happen next year. It's expected to happen sometime in April of 2024. This system is going to continue roughly until 2140 when all of the Bitcoin is mined. So it's very systematic and very methodical. Right now, to date, nearly 89% of the total 21 million Bitcoin that can ever exist has already been mined, and they're already in circulation. It's over 19 million Bitcoin. So approximately 900 new Bitcoin are mined and added to the digital supply daily. So we don't exactly know the exact date of the next halving event, but it's going to occur after mining 840,000th block since the last halving. So as I mentioned, April 2024 is the next halving event, and the mining reward is going to be reduced to about 3 1/8 Bitcoin after that. So every 4 years about, it's going to halve. So I think you get this here, but let me state it. The purpose of Bitcoin halving is to make sure that there is a scarce and controlled supply of Bitcoin in circulation. This is really their monetary policy. Okay. This is how they control, they being the blockchain and the miners, and all of us who participate in this, control inflation. So it limits excessive inflation. It's a restrictive issuance process. It keeps the Bitcoin stable and valuable in the long term. So these miners, they have to be very smart and they have to be very good working on their computers to mine this Bitcoin. In order to be profitable, they have to continue to face stiff competition against other miners to compete for the scarce issuance of new Bitcoin. So, how has halving impacted the price of Bitcoin? This is fascinating, and I got this from a good source called cointelegraph.com. You can see that after the 2012, the 2016, and the 2020 halving, where it goes down from 50 to 25 to 12.5 Bitcoin, the price 150 days after the halving has gone up, and it has gone up significantly. You can see that in 2012, it went from $12.35 to $127. In 2016, it went from $650 to $758. And in 2020, it went from $8,800 to almost $11,000. Now, one thing you got to mention is that it really skyrocketed in November of 2021. So it went up to about $69,000. And you know what? In 2022, it went down. It went down a lot. Went down at one point, I want to say, to around $16,000. So it can be volatile. And it's really based on the halving. The value is based on the halving and the supply, but also the trading, the buying and selling of Bitcoin. And there was a lot of selling. 2022 was a very volatile year in investments. The stock market, we saw that in S&P 500. We also saw it in physical gold and silver. It's very volatile. Kind of went up, went down, went sideways, but it was very volatile. So I mentioned that the inflation rate is really reduced to the halving event, and it relates to reducing the issuance of new coins into the circulating supply. Bitcoin is designed to be deflationary. In this monetary policy, where they basically are limiting the total supply ever to 21 million, but also the halving events, is a crucial role in this design. Bitcoin's inflation rate was initially 50% in 2011. In 2012, after the first halving, it went down to 12%. And in 2016, it went down to 4 to 5%. Right now, the inflation rate of Bitcoin is around 1.74%. That is pretty good. It is very low. In simple terms, and this is really important, the data shows us that after each halving, the value of Bitcoin has historically resulted in a bull run for Bitcoin. Let's look at the numbers. So, year to date, since January 1st, we have seen Bitcoin go up about 74%. Okay, on January 1st, it was around $16,600 a coin. As of yesterday, Saturday, August 5th, it's around $29,000 a coin. So 74%. That is a significant increase. Why is it going up? I'm going to get to that. But let's do some comparison. How is it compared to the S&P 500? Let's go back a little bit more than year to date. Let's go back 12 months. You can see that Bitcoin has outperformed the S&P 500. In the last 12 months, it's been up around almost 25%. The S&P 500 about 10%. And I wanted to go back 12 months to do the comparison because 2022 was a very bad year for investments. Bad for stocks, not great for gold. And you know what? Bitcoin didn't do that great. Okay, relatively speaking. But relatively speaking or comparatively speaking, it's under 25%. So it's outperforming the S&P 500. Let's look at the max return. Max return total time horizon that we can go back. We can go back 30 years for the S&P 500, and that basically is a little under 1,700% total return. So price appreciation and dividends. Bitcoin going back 13 years, 58,678%. I tell you, I really wish that I had invested in Bitcoin in 2010. I probably didn't even know what it was. I do own Bitcoin. I am an investor who likes to hedge his bets. So I own a lot of stock. I own a lot of ETFs. They're mostly dividend growth investments. I do have growth investments. Okay. I do own stocks that do not pay dividends because I am looking for growth. And that has drawn me to Bitcoin. Now, I don't have skags and scads and scads of Bitcoin, but I got some Bitcoin. I also have some physical gold. I also own real estate. So I hedge my bets, but uh, in my bones, I am a dividend growth investor. I love cash flow, but I am not going to ignore Bitcoin. Some folks are saying that this is going to continue to grow. It's going to 10x and 10x again. And I'm speaking specifically of Michael Saylor. He's the former CEO of a firm called MicroStrategy. He is also the executive chairman, and he believes that if we have regulatory clarity around digital assets, it's going to eliminate a lot of confusion and ambiguity, and people are going to rush to invest in Bitcoin. And he's predicting that it's going to increase by 10x after the public realizes its true potential. And then he thinks it's going to 10x again. This is a very well respected man. He is a billionaire. He has a vested interest. He invests in Bitcoin. His company, MicroStrategy, invests in Bitcoin. But I've heard him interview. He is a true believer. He's a very smart man. He's a billionaire. I encourage you to go on YouTube and search him, look him up, listen to his interviews. He's very intelligent. I am providing the link to the article where he's talking about Bitcoin really going 100x. Take a look at that. If you're interested, how do you buy Bitcoin? You can buy it on an exchange. There's Coinbase. You can buy it on Robinhood, where you can buy stock, of course. There's another exchange called Binance. You can buy Bitcoin. However, if you're not comfortable buying a coin, a digital asset, you can buy an ETF. You can't buy it yet, but you will be able to buy it. And there's a firm called BlackRock, and I've done a couple of videos on them. They are the largest hedge fund or asset management fund in the world. They manage over $10 trillion in assets. And BlackRock, ticker symbol BLK, has submitted an application to the SEC to issue, they want to get approval to issue a Bitcoin based ETF. This is huge. For BlackRock to get behind this, they are adding real legitimacy to Bitcoin as an asset. And the CEO, Larry Fink, has been out there front and center in the public doing lots of interviews. And he is pushing Bitcoin. And I'm giving you access to a few articles. I've shared these before. He's basically saying that Bitcoin is an international asset and it is digitized gold and it can serve as a hedge against inflation. It's coming directly from Larry Fink. And you can see the article. I'm giving you the link right there. With Decrypt magazine, he's also praising Bitcoin again as digitized gold. And he once dismissed it a few years ago I guess when he didn't fully understand it, and I didn't fully understand it, and I'm still learning about it, but I got a really good handle on it. He basically said it was, great for money laundering for criminals. But now he's singing a very different tune. And you know what? He definitely is because he wants his company to issue this ETF in in Bitcoin. I am going to be investing in BlackRock, and I tell you, I will be investing in this ETF if and when it gets approved. And you know what? BlackRock has a great track record in getting their requests from the SEC approved for ETFs. I think they've requested 575, 574 have been approved. One was not approved about 10 years ago. Uh, Larry Fink also says that this Bitcoin spot ETF is going to democratize crypto. And this was in an interview he did on the Fox Business Network. You can see the link. Folks, that is it. I hope you found this to be informative and insightful. And I kindly ask you to give us a like for this video and subscribe to our channel here at Dividend Blasters and share the video with a friend and hit that notification bell so you will know every time we release a new video. Until our next video, have a wonderful, wonderful day and God bless.